Both streams here. So let's go ahead and get started. Good afternoon. This is Ifan from the Strategic Day Trader, and this is your market wrap for January 8th, 2021. Got about 1 minute until the market close here, so we'll get to see what the final closing price is. Okay. We've had some interesting volatility this week in the Qs and SPY. All right, we had that gap up that got sold. And then a couple afternoons ago, we also had this quick sell-off here in the middle of the week. But it just hasn't really changed the chart. And I think that's been the interesting thing, is that despite headlines and even some days that, I mean, in a vacuum, this is a pretty bearish start to the year, right? The way that we started here. But we've been following this hourly uptrend because as long as that's intact, you have everything else looking like an uptrend, right? We had the daily as well, still above the 20 MA. 20 MA still pointing up here. Same for the weekly. So, despite all the noise, just haven't been anything but bullish on the market this week, right? So expect sell-offs to continue to be buying opportunities. We did just close here, so it looks like we'll be closing up here just shy of the all-time highs that we set in today. Okay, so will next week's earnings create anything to upset this uptrend? It definitely could. I think we saw that last earnings season here. A lot of sideways stuff before the market broke out. Really, earnings kind of put the market into a holding pattern. Doesn't mean that'll necessarily be the case. Sometimes stuff like this, I think what I remember what we saw was a lot of kind of sector rotation. SPY and Qs kind of took turns leading here throughout this kind of sideways price action that we got. So that'll be interesting to see. Now, earnings season starts next Friday. Okay, that's JPM reports. That's the first of the Dow components to report. But it usually doesn't pick up until the last couple weeks of January and then on into February. Okay, so I don't think necessarily next Friday will be all that exciting just because of earnings. But it's kind of a good time for kind of preparation, getting the trading plan in order, and being ready for it. So hopefully you're looking forward to that. Okay. So, I know the market's not been kind of the most exciting, maybe with some of these kind of, shakeouts here and there, creates a little bit of volatility, but overall it's just been a steady grind higher. All right. So we'll see if that changes anything as we get into earnings. I think, there are also some big names to watch. I know Tesla is getting up there. If it gaps up again on Monday, that will be a novice gap. So we'll keep an eye out for that on Monday as it kind of closes up here near the top. And, hopefully while these things are moving and we're seeing kind of a lot of this stuff, what else do we see today? These kind of big novice gaps that you're waiting for them to set up. Something like the LAC, LAC, Mara, and we're waiting for them to give us the setup to get the extension or give the entry, whatever it is, because I think it's the kind of thing that if you're really just trying to guess the top, I think you're going to get run over. And I know, some people have been mentioning that maybe for them, Tesla is never short because they've been hurt by it too many times. But, hopefully you're waiting for there to actually be a setup. And if it's a certain setup that didn't work last time, then don't play it again. Okay. But it'll be interesting to see what we get for earnings season if some of these things really start to turn the tide. I don't know if they will, and so far it does seem like, especially with this grind. And that's something we talked about all the way back here, that as long as we kind of stay in this grind, it's really hard for this to top out. I know it's going to run into resistance and different things, But as long as it's doing this kind of grind, and you can see that's what we've been doing here into the end of the year, it's really hard for it to top out. So, but that's fine. I mean, I think, we're still doing just fine. We did well all through this grind higher, all through the end of 2020, so I think we're all pretty prepared here for either case. And if for some reason we get, a top or we come back in, I mean, for a lot of people last year, March was our best month, right? So, we'll see what next week brings us, and into the end of the month should be plenty of trading to look forward to. All right. In the meantime, have a great weekend, and I will talk to you on Monday. Have a good evening.